Hey, I've been hiking today on the north side of the Winding Stair Mountains, and it is slow and rough hiking. So if you think you can hike this area quickly, you need to think again. Behind me is typical of a lot of the rock fields in this area. You have to walk very slowly, carefully, so you don't fall and hurt yourself. If any of you are Appalachian Trail hikers and you've hiked the Appalachian Trail to northern Pennsylvania, you'll know what I mean about it being very rocky, and it can get very tiresome, but you just have to relax and enjoy the rock fields and take your time. Hey everyone, I'm standing on one of the interesting features of the Ouachita Trail. This is called a rock glacier. These huge boulders tumbling down the mountainside. I'll turn around the other way and let you get a look downhill. Hope you can get a good look at these. Rock glaciers. They're moss covered. They make for some pretty gnarly, kind of difficult hiking. I hope you can see those okay. Okay, I'm standing in a structure called Pipe Spring. It's Horse Thief Spring here on the trail. I'm going to stop and get me a little water. I'll let you have a look and see what it looks like. This structure and all that you see here, including the spring, the pipe spring there, was built by the Civilian Conservation Corps. There's a little wren flitting around down here. I think he thinks it's his own private spring. I don't know if he's flown off yet. We'll see. Horse Thief Springs, Ouachita Trail. Good times. Hey, good morning. This is my second night on the Ouachita Trail. Let's talk about Sasquatch for a moment. You know, to hear a lot of the locals tell it, this place is just full of Sasquatch, just to eat up with Sasquatch. There's even a city, little town, not far from here that has an annual festival, a Bigfoot festival. Well, you can count me as a skeptic on that point. But last night, I was in my tent, I woke up, and I heard this strange, wind-like noise. So I had to go out and check it out. You know what it was? The wind, because it was a wind-like noise. Happy trails, y'all. Oh yeah, and don't forget to brush your teeth while you're out on the trail, kids. This is Big Cedar Creek. I'm gonna have to go across this. You notice maybe you can see the blue glaze that's on the other side, so I've got to go from here to there. So I've taken off my hiking boots. I got Crocs and socks, and I'm gonna give it a try. Well, that wasn't so unpleasant as it might have been. I did not fall. I did not take a tumble. The Crocs and socks worked. Another good reason to have trekking poles. Got my feet wet, but I got dry socks. I'll dry off, change socks, change into my hiking boots, and I'll be on my way again. Hey everybody, I'm on top of Mount Wilton. I just put all my rain gear on and it never fails. Once you start putting your rain gear on when it's raining, then it's going to stop and you're going to have to hike in your rain gear and be steamy, and that's not fun. But if I take this rain gear off, I almost guarantee it's going to start raining again. Happy trails, y'all. Hey y'all, see this little tree behind me? Some point in its young life, it probably had another tree fall over on it, or maybe was damaged by some ice or some hazard. But you know, his life wasn't over. It kept finding a way to grow and thrive and go back up toward the light. I don't know. Maybe there's a lesson in there for us somewhere. You see these trees all over the Ouachita Trail. Some of them are much larger than this one and just continue to grow. Well, would you look at that? One of those birthday Mylar balloons out here in the middle of almost nowhere. You know, when people let those things loose up into the sky, they just don't know where they're going to land. I also noticed here, we'll pick that up and take that with us. Also noticed here that some of these green trees, these are holly trees. Kind of an unusual tree for Oklahoma. Let me get a little closer to this one. These are small. Hopefully there's some larger ones around. I'm sure there are. Hey y'all, Lucky Larry is on the banks of the Kiamichi River. When I have to cross this river, I actually make several crossings in this valley. It's the headwaters of the Kiamichi River. And last night in the shelter, I kept thinking, what if I go all the way down the Kiamichi River and it's at flood stage, or if the water's too deep, or if the water is wide and I can't cross over? Am I going to have to turn back around, hike all the way back 9 miles, gain and lose 1,000 feet in elevation, go to the next road crossing? I worried about that. You know, folks, most of the things we worry about don't ever happen. I think if you worry about 10 different things you see coming down the road, 8 of them will be off the side of the road before they ever get to you. Anyway, I'm going to cross this Kiamichi River, and I'll show you a picture of it when I get to the other side, show you a video of that. A couple things when you're crossing a river: you have your backpack on, be sure and unbuckle your waist belt in case you do fall in or take a tumble, that you can detach yourself from your backpack very quickly. That's very important. And it's always better to hike with 2 people or more, not hike solo like old Lucky Larry's doing. But it's always better to have a buddy on a river crossing, because you can take your pack off and then cross the river to make sure, you know, about the depth and make sure it's safe and everything. And then your buddy can then take and bring both packs over for you. Had to take off my hiking boots, just strip down to my skivvies. I won't video that part. I'll spare you that, because that wouldn't be decent viewing for anybody. And I'll have a go at it. When I get to the other side, I will pick back up with you again. I sure would hate for them to, if something were to happen to me, find me in my skivvies. That would be so embarrassing. Okay, we'll just shoot this part of the video from the waist up, okay? This is a part of the Kiamichi River that I just crossed. It's a little more knee-deep. As you can tell, it's moving a lot, but it wasn't a bad crossing at all. I'm all about reducing the use of single-use plastics, but I tell you what, these Ziploc baggies are so important for a hiker. Be sure and make sure all your electronics are in a Ziploc baggie before you make a crossing like this. Over the next couple of miles, I'd have to make mini stream crossings, and I decided, rather than take my boots off at each crossing, that I would just keep my sandals on and hike through the valley like that, which is something I'm not really comfortable with. The soles of those sandals were so thin that if I stepped on a nickel, I probably could have told you if it was heads or tails. Even though I'm not a young man, I never dreamt I would ever be seen on video wearing black knee-high socks and sandals. But there you go, folks. Check it out. After I came down here to get water after my last stream crossing, I found this gnarly old tree. Look, I don't know if it's like hollowed out, got struck by lightning, but will you look? It shot out another tree out of its old gnarly trunk that's still alive. That's a sycamore tree, actually. Isn't that cool? Pretty neat. Another tree there. Because of the threat of rain, I had determined to reach the Arkansas state line that night, where there was a hiker shelter on the summit of Rich Mountain. That was about 6 miles away from the Kiamichi Valley and nearly a 1,500-foot climb to reach the 2,600-foot summit. I was overtaken by darkness pretty quickly and had to hike at night with my headlamp on, something that I really don't enjoy doing, but I determined to wake up in Arkansas. I hope you join me next time for Lucky Larry Walks the Ouachitas. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you liked it. Why not share, like, and subscribe? And I love to read your comments in the comment section. We're starting in Arkansas on the next episode. I hope you join me then. Until then, go in peace. And oh yeah, happy trails, y'all.